guys, how's it going? This is Tim, bringing you guys the Daily Deals with Tim, where I talk about tech, crypto, and stock deals, all for you guys. And before I begin, this is my personal opinion and not financial advice. And today, I want to talk about outlook on Bitcoin as we're nearing the end of 2017. But quickly before that, really sorry guys, I wasn't able to upload more videos. Been really busy, and when I'm like late at night, I'm really tired. It's a lot of excuses, but anyways, going back on track, I'll try my best to put out more content for you guys. All right, so Bitcoin, currently it's at 74.76 US dollars. It has been trending up quite a bit, and if you look at the linear graph, it's quite the rise that it have had, especially in the last year. But if you put on the log scale in the coin market cap, it kind of balances out the extremes so that the graph doesn't look so extreme. But still, compared to it's like kind of comparing to the yearly amount. So it kind of balances out better, and if you look at the graph, it still is going on a constant rise, but it doesn't give you that extreme view. So Bitcoin's at past 7,000, heading towards 8,000 now, and we have some good news coming up for Bitcoin, especially after the China FUD and a lot of regulations coming up. There has been more regulations too, I believe in Vietnam or one of the Southeast Asian countries. They're banning Bitcoin, outright banning them from using Bitcoin, and couple other ones. I think in Nepal, they ousted a Bitcoin exchange person, and in the US there has been regulations against ICOs and possible fraud and money laundering going on with a couple ICOs there. I think Vertcoin or something like that, some unknown coin out there, has been caught with fraud. However, for Bitcoin and the at least maybe top 100 coins, they have been pretty stable throughout. Now, let's go over some news here. So CNBC, a pretty major outlet, posted that largest US Bitcoin exchange added 100,000 customers in one day after a futures announcement. Now the futures announcement was announced by CME, one of the largest financial industry or the company out there for trading, and they plan to launch Bitcoin futures by the end of the year. So this basically brings in a lot of traditional investors. So regular people like you and me. Well, I mean, we might be a little different because we already kind of know about crypto, and we jumped on this ship pretty recently. Maybe some of you guys are longtime crypto enthusiasts, but at least for me, it hasn't been too long. So it hasn't been too long, but I still know what is going on. The SegWit, I went through the Bitcoin fork. There's a couple of other forks coming up, and I watch these things happen and I kind of understand the situation. But for regular traditional investors, they don't know anything about Bitcoin other than it's rising like a rocket. So just based on the kind of that financial gains, it's bringing a lot of people. Now it's good to know the actual benefits of Bitcoin, how it's a decentralized peer-to-peer currency, and that it can't be it can't be like stolen in a traditional sense where people can just come to your house and, let's say, steal away 5 Bitcoin. No, everything is digital, so it's kind of like a digital gold. But anyways, with Coinbase announcing this, Coinbase having 100,000 customers in one day, this really shows you that more and more people are joining this Bitcoin crypto craze. Also, there are 2 companies filing for blockchain ETFs, which are exchange traded funds, creating a new derivative market pertaining to the blockchain technology. Now, these are more like kind of similar to stocks, except it kind of what's the word for it? Brings multiple assets and stocks together to create this ETF, and this is good news because more of the traditional investors are going to be interested into investing in these kind of blockchain ETFs. Also, Coinbase says GDAX intends to evaluate digital assets for exchange listings. So they came out with a digital assets framework. And this is basically a framework for people to analyze which cryptocurrency can be listed on GDAX on Coinbase. So GDAX sets the crypto list standards, and from here on, I think we'll see more cryptos being possibly listed on GDAX and Coinbase. I think one crypto that is highly interested by the CEO of Coinbase is BAT, Basic Attention Token. That is started by the guy who created JavaScript, one of the really influential figure in the technology world. And I think BAT possibly has a good chance of being listed on Coinbase. If it does, I think it will have a crazy rise because Coinbase is one of the easiest to use exchanges out there. Although it is centralized, I think it has a lot of good uses for it, as pretty much a lot of people use Coinbase to start their crypto portfolio and investment. Alright, so going back to BTC, Bitcoin, we have some very contentious forks and future coming up for Bitcoin, especially with SegWit 2x. That is going to be a I think it's either going to be not happen or well, I guess there's basically 3 possible situations: that it doesn't happen and Bitcoin keeps on going with strong, and that it happens but it becomes like kind of useless / another chain. But that is only possible with the replay protection. And the last option is that Bitcoin 2x is going to be the leading Bitcoin, thus having more support for B2x. I think that is very unlikely, but it can still happen because there is no replay protection, and based on what people are going to, which one's more popular, that's going to decide what real Bitcoin is going to be. I think the legacy Bitcoin, what you're seeing right now, is still the way to go. But with that contentious hard fork, things can change. I highly doubt it, but it can still happen. For example, when Bitcoin Cash came out, that was a really huge surprise for people because people didn't think Bitcoin could be hard forked into 2 separate chains like Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, but it really happened. They put replay protection in it. It's supported by a lot of Chinese miners and Jihan Wu, Rajan Veer, but it still happened, and the future is uncertain for them. However, it did happen. Now for Bitcoin, once that hard fork thing it goes and everything comes back into play, what is going to happen to Bitcoin? Now, I do think Bitcoin is a revolutionary concept and a revolutionary product that we have currently. It's a decentralized peer-to-peer currency, but it is capped by a limit of 21 million. I think that is really huge because some other coins out there are pretty much unlimited. But as for Bitcoin, they have a cap on their supply. They have a circulating supply, so there's always circulation of Bitcoin going on. And it's a global currency. people all over the world want Bitcoin. It might not be known by everyone, but those who know it, those who know the potential, those who want financial gains, they'll want Bitcoin. And let's say, just for example, if Bitcoin drops down to $1,000, let's just say it happens in a matter of next week. I'm not saying there's nothing that I know that might trigger that, but let's say it went to $1,000. Now, do you think people will just be fearful of Bitcoin dropping more and sell off everything that they have? I think there are just way too many people right now that know about Bitcoin, that know the potential about Bitcoin, that if it drops that low, people are going to take out loans after loans to put in more into Bitcoin. Because after reaching almost 7,500, the returns you can make at that low of a price is crazy. I think that's going to be circulating through people's mind. I think there is just way too much financial incentive in Bitcoin for people to just say, no, I'm out of it, I'm not doing this anymore. Unless there is a global, let's say, a global drive, a global regulation, maybe from European Union, or possibly like US, China, Europe, Asia, everyone getting together to ban Bitcoin. Unless that is happening, I believe that it's the bubble, like what people think of, is not going to happen. Sure, it might pull back to 5,000, 4,000, but what does that make? These little dips right here, they represent a couple $1,000s. Bitcoin is strong enough to come back down and rise back up like a rocket. And unless there is a worldwide regulation, which I do not think will happen, because as we see, there are multiple countries that support cryptocurrencies. I believe Japan is one of them, and they're pretty huge. They support it. I know Singapore is not against it. They want to regulate some of the fraud and money laundering activities, but overall they're kind of neutral about it. And a lot of the countries out there don't want to ban Bitcoin because there is so much investment potential and so much, even from a government perspective, so much they can earn from this kind of investments. But at the same time, Bitcoin is, its future is very speculative, but I still think Bitcoin has ways to go. Could even reach $10,000 by end of this year. I kind of doubt it, because it has already gotten really great gains just over the last month. So I'm gonna kind of be doubtful about crazy increases, but in long-term perspective, I think Bitcoin is good to go. I still think it has very good potential and very good rate of increase for the future. So that's it for you guys. If you guys like this kind of content, like this video, comment below, and smash that subscribe button. Also, if you guys want to support the channel, check out the links below, and I really appreciate that. And as always, I'll bring you guys more deals on Daily Deals with Tim.